Hello, everyone. Good morning and good evening. To authors and invited guests, welcome to Technical Session 4B. Myself, Ishita Sauryan, and this session will be moderated by me. On behalf of Global Knowledge Research Foundation and GR Scholastic LLP, it is my great pleasure to welcome you all to the 10th International Conference on Information and Communication Technology for Intelligent Systems, ICTIS 2025, New York, USA. The 10th edition of the conference is being organized in a hybrid mode. The physical event was held today in New York, USA. The virtual event is being held through Zoom today and tomorrow, that is 23rd and 24th of May 2025. I hope you will all enjoy the knowledgeable interactive sessions through the day. In this session, sorry, sir. In this session, we have 8 presentations. Each presenter will be given 12 minutes for the presentation and 3 minutes for question and answers. On 10 minutes, I will raise a gentle reminder. There's another request to all the participants that you all stay connected with us till the closing remarks. If you have any query or update, you can write it to me in the chat box. Just before we get started, I'd like to introduce you all to our session chair. We have with us Dr. Durgesh Kumar Mishra, who is the Director and Professor at Symbiosis University of Applied Sciences, Indore, India. He is also visiting faculty at IIT Indore, Madhya Pradesh, India. He has 24 years of teaching and 10 years of research experience. He has published more than 90 papers in reference journals, international and national journals, and conferences, including IEEE and ACM conferences. We welcome you, sir.
Thank you, Ishita. Thank you, Ishita, for inviting
Thank
me.
you, sir. Now I'd like to start with the paper presenters. I'd like to invite our first paper presenter, Sunday Adiola Ajabe, with the paper titled Comparing Information System Security of Asymmetric and Symmetric Cryptography Key on Health Information Systems. So if you're ready, then you may start with your presentation.
Thank you very much, and thank you for inviting me at this conference. Permit me to unshare my, I mean, to share my screen rather.
Sure, sir.
Yeah. Dear conference chair or session chair, the other participants, I want to thank you for this opportunity to be share with us one of our work titled Comparing Information System Security for Asymmetric and Symmetric Cryptographic Key on Healthcare Information System. So this work is jointly authored by the list of authors that I presented in my cover spring, and under the supervision of Professor Matthew Adigun. The presentation outline, I have the introduction, the problem statement, aim and objective, related work, methodology, result and discussion, conclusion, as well as selected references for this work. As we all know, health care is one of the paramount things in any part of the world, and health information system is used to manage patient record, diagnosis, treatment, and administrative of data for the patient. Digital improvement, digitalization improvement, improve efficiency, but increases the surface area of the cyber attack. Healthcare data breaches can lead to a lot of issues, can lead to financial fraud and many other issues. And even from the experience, litigation arises as a result of access to patient healthcare record. The problem statement. Majorly three categories of problems were identified. We have healthcare
So,
provider lack.
I'm really sorry to disturb you, but I think you haven't started your presentation sharing yet.
Yo. My God. Sorry.
It's okay. You can share it now.
mm, I'm sorry about that. Can we all see my screen now?
Yes, sir, it is visible. Please go ahead.
Good. Thanks. So because of my time, let me just go to where I was. Majorly the problem statement, we have the major three categories of problem that we identify. We have healthcare provider lack a unified security focus for healthcare information system implementation. The systems are often vulnerable. Those that has, which is not, of course, a unified one, are vulnerable to attack the access from various people, both authorized and unauthorized people, even some other people that are working in the healthcare industry who are not supposed to have access to this information are having access to it. And these access are having negative impact on the patient health care. So to this end, this project aim is to develop a secure and enhanced health information system framework tailored towards South African healthcare environment. So we just use a kind of a test run experiment. So, and the objectives was to identify the vulnerabilities in existing health information system implementation, develop a secure develop a security policy and control, then ensure compliance with national, national and international regulations. From the literature review, a number of work has been done using a lot of architecture to secure the cybersecurity and health information system. So, but we find out that also many people also use took the advantage of using the cryptographic key, both symmetric and asymmetric encryption, to prevent unauthorized access to the patient information. However, the level at which all these system work has not been properly evaluated, because and that have a negative effect on what the future will hold for health information system, as nobody will know what are going to be the computing resources that each of these both symmetric and asymmetric encryption are consuming in their various capacity and various domain to protect information of a patient. To this end, this study has five categories of methodology. We designed the study, then the source and processing of experimental data was identified, which is health information system data, then the specification of the implementation environment, then the cryptographic key, both symmetric and asymmetric cryptographic key that we are focusing on, then the algorithm for the encryption of this health information system. On the data set, we have the data of collected from a healthcare professional and the ICT officers from various hospital, and we also make use of open access health information system that we collected from a medical, we call it open MRS community, which is a community or a global network of volunteers that contributing to the healthcare and technology from various countries, and they gather together to improve the healthcare system. Then in this case, we ensure that we design a kind of structured questionnaire and response that focus on perception of healthcare information system security, confidentiality, compliance with POPI. Then the data preprocessing, encoding, and categorical data. Then we clean and validate the missing or inconsistent entries. Then statistical analysis for using was performed using RStudio and Microsoft Excel. I have the framework for the study um, that itemize the system we are proposing. And then on the encryption of the data, um, for the cryptographic encryption, for asymmetric cryptographic encryption, basically we follow 7 steps for this. Basically, the work started, and then we choose the potential kind of encryption method to apply and set of environments for it. Then we create a public and private key. Then we save the private key for a file for usage again. And then in the fifth step, with the public key and then decrypt the patient record, then save the patient file into the database, and the process ended. And for asymmetric key, this one has only 6 steps. Basically, because for the asymmetric key, it is the same key that you use for for symmetric key rather. It's the same key that you use for encryption that you use for decryption, and that helps. That led to the omission of a particular step that was not included in the symmetric key, but included in the asymmetric key. For the result and discussion, these data sets basically was evaluated using 3 key components, which are processing time. Then we look at the consumption memory. Then we also look at the we look at computing memory rather. We look at computing memory, the processing time, and then we look at processing consumption. So in this case, when we check how each of these each of these encryption key perform, during the processing time, which was rated in seconds, AES and RSA both shows that they increase processing time as the volume of the data increases. AES was consistently outperformed the RSA, encrypting data faster with lower resources usage. And then RSA's execution time increased more sharply due to its complexity of asymmetric structure. That's part of the basic findings that we discover from this, and these are reflecting in the results that I presented in the table. For the computing memory, this was measured using kilobytes. The measure while encrypting electronic medical record with RSA and AES is presented on this table. Both encryption shows increased memory usage as our Earth information system data increases. Then the RSA consumes significantly more memory than AES. At each data size level, AES demonstrates a better memory efficiency, which can guide any expert that want to develop such in the future. And of course, we also hope to work around that side in the future consideration. And then AES is preferred for Earth information encryption system. And the third consideration or evaluation that we use was processor um, consumption, which is rated in percentage. We use this for both uh, the RSA and AES as being the potential encryption key that was proposed. So it was major. It was major, and apparently um, RSA CPU usage increases steadily as Earth information system increases. AES maintain consistency and in the usage of 1.0, I mean 0.01 until we get to the highest data that was used, which is 5,000. And the key contribution and insights from this research is that develop a multi-layer security network tailored to South African Earth information system is possible. The framework can be supported using the efficient cryptographic key that was discovered, reinforcing the alignment of the system, the international PIA, and international standard is also feasible. We have a conclusion that says we say that the development of secure information Earth information system significantly strengthen cybersecurity posture, incorporate global best practices adapted for local constraint in healthcare industry. It will further strengthen the patient confidence in the use of health information system, and it exonerates potential litigations that may arise for the healthcare providers in the course of rendering their services in healthcare system. We propose to, we recommend the final implementation in hospital and possibly the integration to health information system for a central oversight. I have few selected references for this work. Thank you for listening.
Okay. I have one question. Are you able to hear me?
Yes, I can hear you, sir.
Yeah, there is one question is that we have two questions. First is uh, what is the size of AES encryption key?
Sir, come again, sir.
Size.
Size.
Size. Yes.
Size of the data.
Size of encryption key.
Size of encryption key. We use
Right.
3.5 gigabytes.
Oh no, size in the bits. How many? What's the size of the in the bits?
Size in the bit.
Yeah.
For the entire, you mean for the entire data?
Mm-hmm. Yes, please.
That's what I mentioned. 3.5.
Okay. 3.5. Okay. Now the
Yeah.
second is you are having for the sample size of the data is only 100. 100 patients.
Yes.
So how we can identify this sample size is very low? Then how we can check the accuracy on the basis of the sample size of data?
We actually want to evaluate the strength of the key. We are not focusing on the identification of the particular patient.
Okay. Right. That's why I'm asking what's the strength, what's the key size is there. If the key size
Okay.
is 16-bit or 24-bit or 32-bit, then
Oh,
how much time is it?
no, I don't know that. I thought you are asking for the size of the data set. It was 32 bit. The size of the key was 32 bit.
32-bit. Okay.
Yes.
Right. Thank you. Thank you, Soms.
Yes, sir.
Nice
Thank you, sir.
presentation.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. We'll be proceeding with the next paper presenter. I'd like to invite
Okay.
paper presenter, Freddie, the peer with the paper title, Developing a Low-Cost Prototype for Optimizing Quail Egg Incubation Using Convolutional Neural Networks as a Pre-Incubation Selection Strategy. Sir, if you're ready, then you may go ahead. Sir Freddie, if you're here. It seems we do not have him in the meeting with us yet. We'll be proceeding with the next paper presenter. I'd like to invite paper presenter Guan Lin Wu with the paper titled IoT Greenhouse Monitoring System based on RSA and DSA Noise Random Number Generation Encryption. Sir, if you're ready, then you may start with your presentation. Sir Guan Lin Wu.
I think he's also not there.
Okay, sir, we'll be proceeding with the next paper presenter. In the meantime, MD Kamruzaman with the paper titled Leveraging Machine Learning for Dynamic Health Insurance Pricing Based on Risk Assessment. Sir, if you're ready, then you may start with the presentation.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you so much. Let me start sharing my screen. So, this moment. Can you see my screen?
Yes, sir, it is visible.
Okay. Yeah. So thank you everyone for joining the session, and obviously to the conference and all the co-authors of this paper. So this paper is mostly student driven, and so not that much in terms of the kind of excellency as we expect from the original paper, but still they are undergrad, so they are doing pretty good. And the paper title is Leveraging Machine Learning for Dynamic Health Insurance Pricing Based on Risk Assessment. And I want to mention the co-authors. Maisha Famdeshi is from the United International University, Dhaka, Bangladesh, and Ridika Misbahul, also from the same university. Rizamin is from Wright State University, and Kayum is from the Northwestern University, and I'm Dr. Sharkar from the Boy State University. Okay. So let's start. One of the main cost in the United States in terms of the health is the insurance payment. All the people almost every year have to pay nearly 2,000 or more for their health insurance, and that is the low estimate. And the high estimate is for single person, they even have to pay more than $5,000, no matter whether they are sick or not. So that flat rate pricing is kind of a bit unfair for all the people, because it is just kind of taking their money and putting it somewhere else. And that is also sometimes not good for the health insurance companies, but they have no other way. So one of the way can be making the pricing is personalized, so that the insurance companies can get benefit, and also the people, they can also be benefited. And how can we have the personalized pricing? We used the very simple technique. Maybe by using the AI, we can predict the risk associated for each single person, and based on the risk, we can try to fix the price for that person. But obviously that has many pros and cons, but that is one of the way by using the data driven approach to calculate the insurance price rather than having the complete flat price. Okay. So from the motivation on the research objective, we want to model the risk of the human from the data. And for the data, we took the CDC data, Center for Disease Control and Prediction, from the US. And by using that data, we try to predict whether one person is risky or not in terms of the health data. And based on the riskness, we try to compare the price. And how we do that? We applied very simple machine learning models. If we can apply and use very simple machine learning models, then we will not probably go for all the complex models. And by having that, our goal is to enable fair and data-driven pricing. Okay. And some of the literature review, there are many existing approaches that try to give OS for different type of insurance price calculation from health data, from their psychological data, from estate data. And our org, they use the mortality data, and we did not find any specific org previously that have used the CDC data to predict the health insurance cost. And for the cost estimate, we took the very simple formula that we will have the base cost, and then the overall price will be some proportionate of the health risk. And what will be included in the base cost? The base cost will be whatever the state requires, and the federal requires, the federal government, and some managerial cost, because for the insurance company, they have to bear the managerial cost. So all those basic costs that will be on the base cost. And the remaining part will be personalized, where we have the proportionality factor and then multiplied by the health risk. Okay. So let's go on the data source. So we took the data from the CDC, Center for Disease Control and Prediction, and they have the mortality data set. They have more than 1 million samples. And for that data set, they have different classes of that data set. Some of the information, mortality, people have died because of crash, people have died because of COVID, people have died because of pneumonia, those different types. And we see the data set is very much imbalanced, but we have no other way. We have to deal with that. Okay. And for the disease classification, we took the information from the ICD, International Classification of the Diseases, that is being used worldwide. They have the risk classification, and from that information, we have used it. Okay. And we also try to identify some of the features information that are on the data set. And in the data set, they have like 34 features, and we saw the data set is also very divergent. Some of the information, like the mean and median for some features is small, and for some others, the mean and median is very high. So we did the scaling to make everything inside kind of a standard place. And also we tried to apply some of the feature selection techniques, as our goal was kind of try to evaluate how we can make it better. So we try to apply some of the feature selections, although we don't need the feature selection because we have only 34 features, but we anyway try to apply that. So we applied the chi-square feature selection and PCA for dimensional reduction. And then I will show the results later, but we applied that. Okay. And for the model pipeline, what we did, we took the very simple thing using Python and scikit-learn and some of the models, and we compared the balanced versus imbalanced result. And this complete source code and all the experimental result and data is available in the GitHub. So model pipeline is something like, let's start with very simple model. If we can get successful on the simple model, I use a complex model. So very simple, we started with the k-nearest neighbor. From the k-nearest neighbor, if we get satisfiable result, then we are happy with that, but at least we will try another one just to verify that our result is good. For that, we used another model, random forest. But if we do not get the result on the very simple model, then we will use the complex model, something like neural network or even deep learning things, CNN, LSTM, we can apply, and even the large language model, those kind of information we can apply too. But at the beginning, our goal was very simple model. Okay. And by applying the very simple model, k nearest neighbor on this data, we see that we are getting like more than 99% accuracy on the imbalanced data. And if we make the data set balanced, that means like all the classes will have the same number of instances. There we got 84% accuracy. And we also saw that the PCA was performing better than the chi-square feature selection. As we are getting pretty good result, around 90, more than 95%, then we are kind of pretty good. We use another model, random forest. So on the random forest, we use 11 decision trees. And there we saw that by having the imbalanced data, it is not impacting our overall result. It is actually pretty good on the imbalanced data. But anyway, we have still tried the balanced data set, and we saw that the balanced data set accuracy is around 50 to 55%. Okay. And after that, we are still interested that why not try a bigger model, what happens. So we tried with kind of bigger or complex model neural network, and we saw the overall data set on the imbalanced and balanced data. We got around 90% accuracy on the imbalanced, but on the balanced data set, we got very low accuracy. And the explanation for that, we've got our data set. When we took the balanced data set, we did the kind of subset of all the data, and there was just 200 instances for all the 18 classes, and that was pretty small, so it was kind of underfitting on our data set. So we could have obviously make larger data set by doing Gaussian distribution or smart kind of data creation, but we did not do that because we want to use the real data instead of having artificial data. So overall, in terms of the model comparison, in this simple case, the k-nearest neighbor was pretty good. Random forest was competitive, and neural network was less effective because of the smaller data set. It doesn't mean that neural network is bad, but it just signifies that our
Excuse me,
data
sir.
set is very small.
I'm really sorry to disturb you, but I'd like to remind you of the time limit.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sure. Okay. So the key insights from the paper that we can model risk, and simple model is sufficient, and also feature selection using PCA help without hurting the performance. And we have some of the limitations, like obviously our data set is not too big, and it has the imbalanced data, and we are not able to apply the complex model because it needs more data. And price may not only depend on the risk, but it can also depend on market volatility and many other factors. And the future org, our goal is to use the real-time health data and test deep learning models on larger dataset and build real-time pricing tools. And in conclusion, machine learning enables fair, efficient pricing, and simple models may sometimes work better, and opportunity to transform the health insurance. And we are acknowledging the Title III grant from the Bowie State University that is giving us the opportunity to work on this. And we also acknowledge the data given by the CDC and the references. And if you have any questions and answer, I can answer that.
Right. There is a question is that you have very good data set. Size of the data set is also good. Presentation is also good. But there isn't one, you are saying 90% of accuracy, right?
Yes.
90% of accuracy. And then can you compare with the other accuracy on the same data?
So on the Same data,
The
yeah,
same
that's a good
similar.
question.
Have you checked the security and the similar data with the other algorithms,
With
existing algorithms?
Yes, we tried with different algorithms. We applied the neural networks and different variations of the neural network by changing the hidden layers, by changing the number of neurons. We did many things, and we also applied mm, the support vector machine, but did not report the result. The result was similar, like 85% to 90%. And we also applied the LSTM model. Although our dataset is not fully time variant, but internally we applied the LSTM, but it was underfitting. So
Okay.
yeah, we did not
Okay.
get
Then what?
good
Then what's the count of these hidden layers? How many hidden layers are there?
for the neural network that we have used.
Yeah. Yeah. What the neural network you apply?
We have used just three hidden layers.
Okay. 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 And then what's the parameter for that? The hidden layers?
Approximately like 500 to 100.
Okay. 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 Thank you. It's good presentation. Okay.
Yeah, thank you so
Good
much,
work.
Dr.
Continue it. Yeah. Continue it, please.
Thank you. So I can stop sharing.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. We'll be proceeding with our next paper presenter. I'd like to invite paper presenter SM Julkarnain Abir with the paper titled Navigating the Blockchain Frontier, a D-Metal-Based Analysis of Adoption Challenges in Business. Sir, if you're ready, then you may go ahead. Sir Julkar? Yeah.
Am I audible to you?
Yes, sir, you're audible.
Sorry for the interruption. Actually, my microphone is not working here. Thanks for the opportunity to give me the opportunity for presenting a research paper here. I am Zulkarnain Abid from Islamic University of Technology, Bangladesh, and my research paper title is Navigating the Blockchain Frontier, a D-Metal-Based Analysis of Adoption Challenges in Businesses. So first of all, our introduction comes here. Blockchain is a secure and decentralized technology for modern transactions, and it has a higher potentiality but slow business adoption in our country. And here is the limitations about our research that we have prepared this research based on our Bangladeshi market. It actually depended on our country. So our actual objective of the research paper is to identify and analyze the key adoption barriers of blockchain in our businesses. So what are the research questions for
Excuse me,
this
sir.
paper?
I'm really sorry to disturb you, but we don't really consider PDFs. If you could present through a PPT, if that's possible.
It's possible. I have to download that. I
So-
need just 30-second time for that.
Oh, okay, sir. Okay. Please do that.
Thanks for the opportunity to give me the. Thanks for giving me the opportunity.
Yes, please. Continue.
Okay, so our research questions are: what are the major challenges in adopting the blockchain in businesses? So how do these factors or challenges actually influencing one another, and which factors are mostly critical to address here? Now moving to our methodology, our methodology is the D-Metal Decision Making Trial and Evaluation Laboratory. This is actually a complex methodology, but I have tried to use it as a simpler because we had data limitations because it was very hard for me to finding out the actual experts about blockchain because the market was too niche. So that was too much hard for me. So why we actually use the D-Metal here? Because of its simplicity in identifying the interfactor influences, and also it actually splits all the factors into causal and effect groups using the R minus C scores, where R is actually the sum of the rows which actually find out the importance and actually find out the importance here. So here is a diagram which actually shows a relationship between the effects and the cause. It's just for understanding. It's not anything theoretical. Now moving to our next slide, what are the actual factors here? We have found out 15 factors which are actually creating a barriers for adopting the blockchain in the businesses. And how we actually found the data after analyzing our research literature review and taken the experts input. We have identified all of those 15 factors, and we have applied the D-metal to find out the cause and effect relationship there. And who are actually the experts here? All of those 33 experts have all at least 2 years of experience in the blockchain industry. Now moving to our next slide, the factor categorization. We have categorized all the 15 factors in three categories. First one is technological factors. We have the scalability issue, security issue, interoperability concern, bug fixing issue, storage issue, accessibility, and the technical error issues. For the social regulatory issue, we have found out the trust issue, lack of trust issue, legal barriers from the government side, user understanding, and no central authority issues. And for the last point, for the business factors, we have found out the high cost issue, lower acceptability among the users issue, and the model disruption. Now moving to our process overview, which is D-metal. We have inputted the metrics and inputted all the data in the matrix format. We have collected the data from our experts in a matrix, where actually I collected all the data by my own presence there, and I have to meet all of the experts, and then I have collected all of the data in the matrix format, like in the Excel format, and that's why it was easier for me to analyze all of the data in the Microsoft Excel. Then I have calculated the row and column, which was actually essential for analyzing the D-metal dataset. And then we have determined the R minus C for direction and R plus C for the importance here, where R minus C was the actual determinant of the cause and effect relationship here. And here we found that our threshold value was 0.017. Now moving to our next slide, what are the causal factors and what are the effect factors here? The causal factors which have the values R minus C of positive value are the causal factors where we have found the lack of trust, no central authority, accessibility, restrictions issue, a higher cost issue, and poor scalability issue. And for the effect issue, we have found that R minus C, which have the negative value, we have found the legal gap, security risk, and acceptability issue, which are actually causing by the causal factors here. Now, what are the top 5 critical barriers here? We have found the first one is lack of trust issue, which is mostly influential, and secondly, the no central authority, because all these 2 points are actually connected. So if as there is no central authority of the blockchain, that's why most of the people or most of the small businesses don't trust it. And also the restriction of accessibility here, and also the higher cost. This is the main barrier for the small and new entrepreneurship and small businesses. And the poor scalability issue is another issue here. Now moving to the next slide, the process of data analysis. At first, we have collected the data from the respondent in the matrix format. Here you can see the format. And after that, we have made the summation and normalize all the direct relationship and normalize and direct relation matrix and identity matrix. And after that, we have inverse the identity normalized matrix. And then we make the total relation matrix by the function of Excel, mul. And then we have sum all of the rows and sum of the columns. And based on the summation, we have analyzed the Ri minus Ci and Ri plus Ci. And here the value of row and column differentiation was positive, or actually analyzed the causal factors, and the factors which was actually the negative value, that was actually the effect factor. Now we have the sectoral view or industrial view of the blockchain in our market. The first of all, the financial sector have the higher scope of adopting the blockchain because there are too many confidential things. Secondly, the supply chain, where the traceability and all the letter of credit and other issues which are actually related to commercial. For those types of purpose, supply chain is another sector where blockchain can be mostly helpful. And lastly, the healthcare industry, where patient data and specific data are mostly important, and here security must be ensured. So in that case, the blockchain should be implemented here. Now, what is the roles of government in our country? The Bangladeshi blockchain strategy support the SDGs, but still the cryptocurrency or crypto transaction is restricted here. But the overall environment is positive, but there are some cautious regulatory instances. Now moving to our key insights. Here we have found that the trust influences everything. Here is security, cost, accessibility. And there are too many misconceptions in our marketplace, like poor accessibility and understanding, because most of the users are not aware about these blockchain transactions, and most of them are don't
Lisa,
aware about.
I'm really sorry, but I'd like to remind you of the time limit.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you for this. What are our recommendations? We have to educate the public and stakeholders of this industry. We have to address the trust issue, and we have to clear the transparency with the stakeholders. We have to improve the legal infrastructure, and also to encourage the hybrid models here. And what are the limitations for this study? I have mentioned previously that our main limitation is this is only based on our country, Bangladesh, and for the future scope, we need to work with the task-specific framework for adoption here, and we can use other methods similar to the D-metal, like corpus or electric, hypertier, topsis, etc. And at the conclusion, I want to say that blockchain is very powerful, but needs some strategic action to adopt the market. And we have some key barriers we have identified, and we have ranked them through the metal process. And also there are some trust, accessibility, cost, and scalability issue, which should be tackled. And we should first provide a clear roadmap for smoother integration. And that's all from my side. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. It's a very good presentation. But what you have planned for the trust management for in this case?
For trust management, we have to implement some project, high value project that will actually be visible to the entrepreneurs or the who are actually doing the businesses. This will attract them. Actually, they want to see some previous success or uh, previous accomplishment that um, actually some challenges that actually solved by the blockchain, and this will actually make the blockchain trustworthy to them. So we need to visualize some true projects that actually solve in perspective of the country.
Have you done anything contribution in this paper for the trust management or not?
For trust management, actually, I have done all the tasks for this paper, like from collecting data to analysis. But
Okay.
for task management, I write this paper during my second year.
Okay.
Previous about 2 years ago. So during the time I didn't have enough knowledge to ask the respondents about too many things about blockchains. But I have tried to gather some information, and I have represented all of those in my paper.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. We'll be proceeding with the next paper presenter. I'd like to invite paper presenter Hua Tran with the paper titled Performance Evaluation of MVC and Microservices Architecture in Handling Concurrent Requests on an E-commerce Website. Ma'am, if you're ready, then you may go ahead.
Yeah, I can.
Yeah.
Wait a minute. Can you see my screen?
Yes, ma'am, it is visible.
Yeah, nice to meet you, and I have a great opportunity to present my paper in the conference here. And now I have started my presentation. And my presentation is about the performance evaluation of the MVC and microservice architecture in handling the concurrent request on an e-commerce website. And this is my agenda from the introduction, and to save the time, I want to skip the related research, and I will show what the goal of our paper, then the system implementation, the development results, and the performance analysis and evaluation. Then the last one is the conclusion. As you know, the e-commerce website now is very famous, and many people want to use the e-commerce website to buy things. So the e-commerce website should support the large number of users, provide the real-time interaction, ensure the fast response time, and maintain the high availability. And there are two famous architecture to develop the e-commerce website. That is the first one is the microservice, and the second one is the MVC architecture. And as you know, that MVC architecture is first research, but then after the because of the larger of the system, so the microservice more developer. The microservice is an architecture in which that an application is broken down into the multiple independent service, and each service is dependent unit of deployment, hosting, and operation. Besides that, the MVC architecture does the pattern separate architecture pattern that separate the system into three main components, but for still in a single application. The two architectures different. This is the architecture of the MVC modern MVC architecture and the microservice architecture, as you see, and there advantage and disadvantage of each architecture. For example, in the MVC architecture, it's easy to development and deploy because everything is in one application. So it's also easy to maintain. But because of the all thing is in one monolithic application, so it's difficult to scale, and when the application grow more and more. So and the second one is slow to develop and deploy. If one component fail, the entire system can be affected. Besides that, the MS Microsoft microservice architecture with the advantage of the scalability, working in parallel, and high resilience, and it supports multi-language and multi-platform. But the disadvantage is the complexity in the system management, because every function, every service, and every function will be developed in separately and independently. So we need the developer need to solve the distributed issue, because that's caused by the inter-service communication, and because there's many services, so it may consume more resources. The goal of our paper is to evaluate the performance of MVC and Microsoft Service Architecture in front of the loss capability, responding time, and the scalability. And we focus on the typical e-commerce use case, that is the mobile phone sale website. And all for the two architecture, we use the Nest.js for the back-end framework. Because of this framework support the both MVC and microservice architecture. And then after develop the website, we conducting load test and analyzing in the handle of concurrent requests, and provide a valuable insight to help developer to choose the most suitable architecture for high traffic e-commerce application. Then decision-making process to gain the data-driven insight into the strength and the weakness of its approach. And this is the system, our system implementation. In the web, we develop the website in two kind of architecture. The first one is on MVC, and we use the Nest.js for the front end, also the Nest.js for the back end. But in the MVC service, all module will be developed in one application, and we use the Docker Composer to contain all the module into one application. And next, the front end will communication with the back end through the API gateway. And in the microservice architecture, each module we separate in the service into separate service, and each service will communicate with each other by the rapid MQ communication protocol, and all this on the service will communication with the NAS with the front end through the API gateway, and all this each of service we will use the Docker Composer to make the container for each for separately independent. And we in our system we use the MongoDB for storing the data. So this is the development result, and this is the front end of our system. And before we making we evaluate the performance, we do the database query performance. This result is from the reviewer convention, because they want to we want to make sure that the Microsoft service and MVC have the right or have the same like the time to connect to the same database. In here we use the MongoDB, and this we test with the same query for only for the API of list of 22 product, and equivalent response is 47.7 to 77 kilobyte, and the request size is 555 byte. We excluding the data optimization, and because of the time we limited, we have tried 14 times try, and we get the responding for them the result that the microservice is exhibit the faster average response time to the database compared to the MVC. You can see the chart here, and along with the lower variability, and we have the good database query with the microservice architecture. And to do the simulator, we have the simulation scenario like this. For example, the number of requests, we will test the number of requests from 1,000 to 20,000 requests per time, and we do this scenario simulation for both MVC and microservice architecture. The communication protocol here we use the API gateway and the RabbitMQ for the microservice. And the performance testing tool we use the Apache GMatter with the server with VPS server for CPU and 4 GB RAM, and you can see the detail here. And in order to test the scaling and to test the scaling of the system, we have the parameter here. For example, here with the MVC architecture, all the application will be developed in one. In one in one application. So all the model will use the same CPU. For example, here is 3.5 CPU, but in the microservice architecture, we can set the CPU for each of the service. Here, for example, because of the product in our system, API gateway and product, many people will use and will request about will give the request about the product, and our system will have to load into the database very recently.
I think you have to go for this results and conclusion.
Oh, okay. In the conclusion here, for example, in the average response time, and we test here, we can say the MS will show a slight improvement under the high load, and for every test case, the MS service can give the better performance in for in the anti-system and the scale-up system. Also in the throughput here, we can say that for example here the line the slide here is for the anti-service anti-system, and the dot line is for the scale system, and we can see the throughput of scale system is also high than the anti, but also the throughput of the microservice is get better performance. Also here in the error rate also we can see the error rate here for the almost scale microservice had the lower error rate and more stable than the MVC. Also in the scale up, and we can include that the macro service maintain the low and stable ROI. The MVC struggle with the rapidly increasing error rate under the high load. And in the conclusion, in our paper in conclusion, we have deployed and evaluation the setup in the two architecture for the application with deploy on the same VPS, and we share the similar logic, business logic, use the aperture tool, and we get the conclusion that the microservices are suitable for distributed high traffic system and demand scalability. The MVC architecture remains the practical for the small scale and low complexity application. And despite the higher resource consumption, microservice is better suited for the system with the large volume and concurrent requests. And the future direction we are here we can propose the hybrid mode that combine both approach in the development of the website to make the cost efficiency optimization to balance the trade-off between the performance and results. And that is all my paper and my presentation. Thank you for listening. And
I
any
have one
question?
question
Yeah.
that I have seen your this result that when the requests are very high, right? Then then error is very stable.
Yeah.
You know. Uh, Now, can you have any analysis of that? Because this when the error the request is up to 5,000, why these errors are more?
And this is the here the errors here, Professor.
Yeah.
Big in here maybe because in the error rate in the when we scaling, maybe this is it like it's at the handling of the system. For example, when from 1,000 to 5,000, maybe the system can handling the error rate, and it's not too much, it's not a too large request, so maybe it's have some I know this result is some
It means your system is not reliable for the less number of requests.
can you repeat?
It means your system is not reliable for less number of requests. If the requests are more than 20,000, then only your system will be stable. It's true or false?
Uh, request is more than not stable. No, I think it's my system is still stable because it here is like for example it's I got the right here. It's it's true.
It's
It,
true.
no, it's wrong.
Oh,
Wrong, yeah, it's wrong.
okay.
Sorry.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, thank
Thank
you.
you. It was very nice presentations. Your presentation designed very nicely,
Yeah,
and contents are very good. Thank you.
yeah, thank you. And,
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, sir. We'll be proceeding with our next paper presenter. I'd like to invite paper presenter John Hiren Jasper Ortega with the paper titled Student Perspectives on AI's Role in Multimedia Arts and Its Threat to Tradition. Sir, if you're ready, then you may go ahead.
Yeah, I'm ready. Just hold on for a moment. I'll just share my screen. All right. Hello, everyone. I'm Dr. John Helen Jasper Ortega from FEU Institute of Technology, Manila, Philippines, and I'll be presenting my study entitled Student Perspectives on AI's Role in Multimedia Arts and its Threat Through Tradition. So as we all know, AI is transforming multimedia arts by automating tasks, enhancing design tools, and supporting virtual learning. Applications like Canva, Adobe Creative Suite now integrate AI to streamline workflows, while brands like Huawei and Asus use it to boost multimedia performance. In education, in general, AI aids critique and feedback but raises concerns about originality and job disruption. Despite this, traditional methods remain relevant. A balanced approach is needed. We're using AI to support, not replace, core creative skills. So for my statement of the problem, first is the AI's impact on artistic originality. So AI tools enhance creative production, but raise concerns about authorship and authenticity. Educators and students must ensure AI supports, not replaces, human creativity and self-expression. Second, over-reliance on AI and the decline of technical skills. So heavy dependence on AI in design may weaken students' artistic and technical abilities. Preserving traditional methods is crucial to maintain creative problem solving and professional growth. And then third, ethical and copyright challenges in AI generated content. AI generated content raises legal and ethical concerns, especially around copyright and fair use. Clear guidelines are needed to help students and educators avoid infringement and respect original creators' rights. Number four is integrating AI without compromising traditional artistic methods. So AI should be used to enhance, as I mentioned again, not replace foundational skills like storytelling and composition. So educators must balance innovation with hands-on training to preserve artistic integrity. And then the last one, AI's impact on career prospects in multimedia arts. So AI's rise in content creation fuels concerns about job displacement in creative fields. So to stay competitive, students must develop adaptive skills beyond technical expertise. So for the methods, the study explores student perspectives on AI in multimedia arts using the expectation confirmation model, focusing on perceived usefulness and ease of use. Insights aim to guide schools in balancing tech integration with traditional artistic foundation. So for my evaluation prompts, I'll just go through with the evaluation. So first is, before using AI in your creative work, what were your expectations regarding its impact on artistic originality and traditional techniques? Second, to what extent did you believe AI could enhance or replace traditional artistic methods? Third is, how has your experience with AI tools? Fourth, what specific benefits or challenges have you encountered while using AI-powered tools? Fifth, how has your experience with AI tools in multimedia arts differed from your initial experiences? Six is, what specific benefits or challenges have you encountered while using these AI-powered tools? Seven is, how satisfied are you, no, with the role AI plays in multimedia arts? Eight, what aspects of AI integration in multimedia arts do you find most concerning, such as ethical issues, job displacement, or skill erosion? Nine, do you see yourself continuing to use AI tools in your creative process, or do you prefer to rely on traditional methods, and why? And then lastly, now, what improvements or changes would you like to see in AI integration in multimedia arts education to ensure a balance between innovation and artistic authenticity? For the evaluation or for analyzing the data that I have collected, I applied n-gram analysis. So n-gram analysis was performed using Python to analyze the survey results. It visually represents the most common words from the qualitative data collected from the 50 participants. These cells identify key themes and insights from their responses. Another one is, this is the result from the expectation confirmation model. So survey results from the said 50 participants showed generally positive but cautious views on AI in multimedia arts. So students found AI tools useful and aligned with expectations, average around 3.72 to 3.76, but still valued traditional practices and raised concerns about ethics and job impact. Overall, they support AI integration as long as it complements, not replaces, core artistic skills. So for the engram analysis, it reveals that while AI was the most mentioned, obviously, students often expressed mixed views. So phrases like, but I and I expected AI highlight how initial expectations were met with both appreciation and concern, reflecting a balanced yet cautious stance on AI's role in creativity and ethics. So for my conclusion, definitely AI is transforming multimedia arts education by enhancing workflow and expanding creative possibilities, but it also raises concerns about originality, ethics, and the decline of traditional skills. So the study, using the expectation confirmation model and engram analysis, finds that while students see the benefits of AI, they remain cautious about its impact on artistic identity, emphasizing the need for balanced, ethics-informed educational frameworks in the Philippine context at least. So for the future direction of this study, so to support the creative growth, no, Philippine schools should adopt a hybrid approach, teaching AI tools alongside traditional art skills like storytelling and composition. Education must also address ethics, copyright, and real-world applications to ensure students use AI responsibly and stay competitive in the creative industry. So here are the references of my study, and that would end my presentation. Thank you so much.
Okay, it's a good presentation. And is are you the student or the researcher?
Come again?
Are you a student?
I'm the researcher. I'm
Okay. So
mm,
this what the exactly can you summarize it in one line?
mm-mm.
And what's the objective of this research?
The objective of the research is basically to understand, what are the student perspectives towards on using AI in multimedia arts
Mhm.
education, since multimedia arts course in the Philippines is, somehow evolving, and with AI's use, no, it became a threat to the traditional arts.
So what's your suggestion? Whether it's useful or not?
Basically, based from the result of our study, of my study rather, so it should be balanced, no?
Mm.
So I mean, we need to be remain cautious about the impact of the artistic identity, just like what have been viral recently about the use of AI to generate a similar artistic style from a
Mhm.
very
Mhm.
popular animation. So yeah.
Right, right. Thank you. Thank
Yeah,
you.
thank you so much. Yeah, thank you.
It's a good presentation. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. We once again have Sir John Hill and Hasper Ortega with the paper titled The Rise of AI-Powered Marketing, Challenges, Opportunities, and the Future of Digital Advertising Careers. So if you're ready, then you may go ahead.
All right. So it's actually somehow related to my recent study. So yeah, let me share my screen again.
This is your second paper,
Yeah, this is my second paper.
and
I
I think
apologize.
I think related to the previous one. Okay.
Yeah. But
So
it's
you
more, yeah, it's more tailored with the professionals rather than the
right.
students. Yeah,
So
yeah,
you
yeah.
can go directly to the result. Okay.
Sure. Yeah. If it is okay with you. So yeah, definitely no. All right. So I actually use a different methods for this. No, I actually applied. Let me go over with the method. So yeah. So basically, this study, explores the challenges, opportunities, and the future of digital advertising careers, guided by the technology acceptance model, which is abbreviated as TAM, which examines how users perceive, adopt new technologies based on their usefulness and ease of use. So for basically the evaluation or the assessment, just questions, how AI can impact, digital marketing and advertising, especially when it comes to content creation, just like content creators who produce videos in TikTok, Instagram, Facebook. Yeah. And then I actually conducted a survey and then generated a word cloud. So the word cloud highlights key themes in AI powered marketing with terms like AI, creativity, personalization, and human, underscoring both its benefits and challenges. So while AI boosts efficiency and targeting, concerns about bias. Next is privacy, and the need for human input remains. So there should be still a human intervention. So it also reflects shifting skill demands, emphasizing continuous learning and inclusive AI adoption, particularly in the Filipino business context. Overall, the insights show that human expertise is still essential in guiding ethical and creative marketing in an AI-driven future. I also conducted an evaluation that will show the technology acceptance model. So the survey results based on the TAM show that marketers view AI as highly useful for improving efficiency and personalization, with 84% recognizing its benefits. However, perceived ease of use remains a challenge due to skill gaps and training needs. While 71% are willing to adopt AI, there are still concerns about creativity, ethics, and accessibility, especially for small businesses. Highlight the need to balance automation with human input for effective and responsible use. So in conclusion, while AI offers significant advantages in digital marketing, boosting efficiency, personalization, and automation, rather, it also presents challenges that require careful navigation. So for the Philippines, the key to successful AI integration lies in balancing technological innovation with human creativity, ethical responsibility, and cultural relevance. So addressing these skill gaps through education and skilling initiatives, along with establishing clear ethical guidelines, is essential to ensure that AI enhances rather than diminishes the value of human-driven marketing. As the industry evolves, the future of uh, digital digital advertising rather, will depend on how well professionals can merge automation with authentic, strategic, and responsible brand communication. So for my recommendation, future research should focus on integrating AI literacy into education, upskilling professionals and aligning AI marketing with Filipino consumer behavior and culture. Businesses must balance automation with creativity and ethical use, while policymakers, lawmakers, if you may, and industry leaders develop governance frameworks to ensure responsible, inclusive AI adoption in the Philippine advertising and marketing landscape. Yeah, here are the references of my study. Yeah, again, thank you so much for listening.
Right.
Mm-mm.
Then in the my your previous presentation, I was a question about that, but I have not asked.
Mm-mm.
That is,
Mm-mm.
what's the privacy concerns are there because you are using multimedia and all these things. You are
Yeah,
uploading the
yeah,
pictures and all these things for the
yeah, yeah.
teaching purpose, for the learning purpose. How
Mm-mm.
we can maintain the privacy for that?
All right. So when it comes to privacy, it actually depend on the existing policy, of, let's say, an institution or even a country. So there's actually a need, of maybe revising or revisiting the existing policy, because as we know, AI is, somehow uh, has an impact, on this different data that basically might affect, the privacy of, you know users. Yeah.
Mhm. Okay, thank you.
All
Thank
right.
you.
Thank you.
Good,
Thank you so
good,
much.
good
Thank you.
presentation.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. I'd like to invite our next paper presenter. Paper presenter,
Me, please.
yeah, Sir Freddie Tapia with the paper titled Developing a Low-Cost Prototype for Optimizing Quail Egg Incubation Using Convolutional Neural Networks as a Pre-Incubation Selection Strategy. Sir, you may start with the presentation.
Yes, I have.
Yeah.
Michelle, please.
Yeah, sir, please go ahead.
Okay. Good morning, everyone. I'm Dr. Freddy Tapia and represent the University of the Armed Forces in Ecuador. I'm the leader of the research team made up Michelle and Cesar. This presentation will be given by the information engineers. Please go ahead, guys.
Yes, one moment, please. Okay. As background, the identification of fertile eggs remains a challenge as traditional methods such as visual inspection as ineffects due to the small size and shield characteristics. The problem, the manual selection of fertile eggs for incubation in quails farms in imprecisions and prone to human error. As justification, the use of machine learning and Arduino optimize the selections, quail reduce errors, enables real-time monitoring, improves rates, and provides small-scale producers with access to efficient technology. The technology tools used, we use several software tools the development of your system. First, we implemented OpenCV as specialist in immersion processor libraries. Then we use Python, chooses for its flexible and strong compatibility with both machine learning and computer vision tools. To control the sensors and automation system, we working with Arduino IDE version 2.3.4, which allowed us to program temperature, humidity, and age tuner functionalities. For the neuronal networking, we use TensorFlow and Keras, which enable us developer and train and neighbor convolutions model down classification what each with an accurate hardware tool usage in terms of hardware we use it an Arduino retrievers combination with our sensor ensures temperature and humidity. Here is breakdown of the main competitions and their powers computions. With components Arduino Uno, thermal resistance, tri-tuner motor, humidifiers. This setup helps us building the realized and energy efficient prototype capable of meeting optimal incubation conditions. As method for the developer of the research project, we adopted the agile methods using Scrum frameworks, following the principles of in the agile manifest. As shown in the diagram, the process begins with project budget. It includes a planning activity for data collection and pre-processions. These stocks are prayers moved into the spring balloon. Each spring lasts between 4 weeks. And during each spring, we because on specifics dealers such as training in combustion and neural networks and integrate sensors into the incubator's prototype. At the end, each spring we produce increment that validation and improves while allow use continue to reference the system while ensures we stay along with research objects. As we move forward, I will explain to each development phase was implemented in home Scrum, helping us stay flexible and collaboration to the process. Yeah. Before we dive into phase 1, let me break construction of the data. Phase 2, building the convolutional network model, and phase 3, the construction of the physical prototype. For phase 4, evaluation and the validation. Phase 5, probabilistic and analytic system optimization. For phase 1 dataset construction, A data set of images was collection under variable light conditions, and the angled text were then categorized in three classes: optimal, inside type honor, minor defects, and exceptional type 2, major defects. We used computer vision, technical strong, OpenCV libraries for imaging preprocessations. This allow to normalize scales and high imaging quality, ensure that the model receives consistent and clean input data. El phase 2, imagine this diagram illustrates how input here Keras prepares the image for analysis, formatting, and scaling in accordingly. In the images 2, we can see a set of real quality images where users trying to model. We training the model using batch of 32 images for iterations. This helps you balance memory system and maintains efficient training spans. The model was training over 10 epochs, which was to high performance with over 5. We're using an Adam optimizers, which is special events because it automatic adjusts the learning rates improves results.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Cesar Quichan, and it's pleasure to her sharing with you the result of research project. In this phase, we design and assembled the physical prototype. It includes an Arduino microcontroller DT22 sensor to constant monitor temperature and humidity inside the incubator, and motorized turning system to rotate the eggs automatically. The next, please. For testing the work, this 1,100 quad eggs, dividing them into groups. The first group was selected using our automatic system, with the second following the traditional manual select process. The next, please. During this stage, we verified that with the prototype and the neural network performance, and expect the incubator maintain stable temperature and humidity. And the CNN model classified the eggs creatinine during the selection process. These results validate the system ability to work reality and practical incubation scenarios. Next. To change our analysis, we applied Bayesian models that allowed us to estimate the probability that HTX belong to automatic or manual growth. The data show that 54.7% of the HX came from the machine learning group, while 45.3% came from the manual groups. This confirmed the clear advantage of using automatic selection over traditional methods. We also simulate hatch prediction for incubation of different capacities, analyze how varying the prototype of machine learning process will impact on hatch rates. Based on the probability models, we confirmed that incremented the percentage of X processed your our system improves that rate. This demonstrates that the system is scalable and can production in front of different sites ensure better production with lower labor requirements. The MobileNet V2 besides en model achieved a classified accuracy of 97.5%, notability of forming manual selection. Additional operation costs were reduced. We around 60%, making the system high efficient and offer table specific for small produce. The prototype maintained optimal incubation conditionals, automatically regulating temperature and humidity and performing egg turning. Its low energy consumed made it energy efficient and ideal for small or rural farms with limited resources. Be integrated CNA with IoT. The system drastically reduce selection errors and labor needs, overrides, sustain love the benefits. The next. Continue.
That's all, Cesar.
It's over now.
And
Yes.
conclusions, the accuracy, the classification and processing of data enable the training of precision model for a typical VL's age, ensure optimal learning, expanding of the data set and improving capture available within its robots across diverse environments. And the other conclusion, the implementation of mobile net version 2, convolutional network achieve at en 27.5 acres, tried in classification fertile age, significance of manual selection. It is a recommendation to explore other network charts such as vision transformation and apply advanced technicals to optimize the system accuracy and FX across various products environments. Thank you for attention. We welcome your questions.
Okay. It's a good device. Then have you submitted for the patent for this device? Have you applied for the patent, Michelle?
No, I'm I don't have patent.
Okay, right. So, are you using somewhere this device for this particular incubator? Have you tested there? Have you tested it in the real environment?
Yes, it relies
Okay, thank you.
uh,
Thank you.
Okay, it's fine. The
Okay,
prototype is testing in different scenarios.
okay.
Thanks.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Professor.
Thank you. Thanks.
It's a good. You go for the patent for this, okay?
Thank you, sir. We will be proceeding with the next paper presenter. I'd like to once again ask for Paper presenter, Guan Len Wu with the paper titled IoT Greenhouse Monitoring System based on RSA and DAC noise random number generation encryption. So if you're ready, then you may go ahead.
Okay, I'm ready.
Yeah.
This presentation explores an innovative IoT greenhouse monitoring system designed to enhance agricultural productivity and data security. The system integrates sensors, ISA encryption, and DAC noise random number generation to provide real-time environmental monitoring and robust data protection. The core aim is to address security vulnerability in data transmission, ensuring less sensitive agricultural data remains protected from external attacks. By combining hardware and software solutions, this system offers a comprehensive approach to modern agricultural management. The integration of IoT technology in agriculture, known as Agriculture 4.0, is revolutionizing farming practice. Real-time monitoring of environmental conditions through sensors is crucial for optimizing agricultural outputs. However, the widespread use of IoT necessitates robust data protection mechanisms to safeguard sensitive information during network transmission. The rapid transmission of large amounts of data by IoT devices poses significant security challenges. Without effective encryption and protection measures, this data is susceptible to external attacks, leading to data leakage or tampering. Such incidents can severely impact agricultural production, resulting in a loss of critical business information and financial assets. Therefore, enhancing the security and reliability of data transmission is paramount. This research introduced a hybrid encryption mechanism that combines ISA asymmetry encryption with random noise generation using a STM32 DAC. This approach enhances data transmission security and resistance to attacks. The MQTT protocol facilitates real-time data transmission and display, storing data in a database to help agriculture producers monitoring environmental changes, promptly identify issues, and make necessary adjustments, thereby improving production efficiency and management convenience. ISA is an asymmetry encryption algorithm that relies on the mathematical difficulty of factoring a large number. The encryption process involves generating a pair of public and private key. The sender uses the private key to encrypt the message and the receiver decrypts it with the private key. This method ensures secure message transmission, as only the holder of the private key can decrypt the message. In the process of encrypting and decrypting data using ISA, a first generates a pair of ISA keys, including a public key and a private key, and sends the private key to B2B uses the private key to encrypt the data M, generating the cybertext and then sends the cybertext to A2A, uses the private key. to decrypt the ciphertext C, restoring the original data M. This process ensures the security of data during transmission. The DAC in a STM32 chip features a linear feedback shift register circuit that generates noise waves. The noise produced by this hardware is used to generate random numbers, which serve as key for symmetry encryption. Combining this method with asymmetry encryption as an extra layer of security, making the system more resistant to potential attacks. The greenhouse system integrates an MCU with sensors, a higher power lens, and an OLED display, a fan humidifier, and water pump maintain optimal conditions. High-power LEDs boost lighting, while gas and flame sensor trigger fire safety alarms. Data is shown locally and security transmitted using ISA encryption and MQTT via a Raspberry Pi. Communication between a Raspberry Pi and STM32 occurs over UART, with the STM32 driving the sensors and generation DAC noise. The system uses Node-RED and MySQL for both front-end and back-end setups. Collect sensor data is organized in MySQL via Node-RED MySQL node. Node-RED processes decrypt sensor data, manage front-end requests, and ensure secure storage and retrieval. Its dashboard now creates an intuitive UI for real-time monitoring and threshold settings. The entire system synchronizes front-end display with the back-end database, providing real-time updates and access to historical records. This flowchart illustrates a process for encrypting and decrypting data using ISA and DAC noise random numbers. Initially, data is encrypted using DAC noise random numbers and an ISA private key, then sent to another device. The receiving device decrypts the data using the same ISA private key and DAC noise random numbers, restoring the DAC noise random numbers through indefinite integration. Finally, the decrypted data is stored in a database and displayed on a web page. This process ensures the security and integrity of data during transmission. The IoT greenhouse monitoring system effectively combines ISA encryption and DAC noise random number encryption for secure MQTT data transmission. Future plans include incorporating machine learning to derive optimal planting methods and implementing LFSR using FPGA for enhanced security. These advancements aim to create a fully intelligent and automated system, improving productivity and protecting trade secrets. Thank you for listening.
Okay,
Next,
thank you. What about the size of the RSA key?
next, let the first author answer the question.
What about your RSA apply the RSA here, right? Hello,
Mm.
are you able to hear me?
Did you hear me? Do you hear
Yeah,
me? Oh,
yeah,
okay.
yeah, yeah. Then why this RSA? Why this RSA? Why
And
you? Yes, please.
okay, okay. RSA is an asymmetric economy algorithm. Idea is security exchange keys in IoT environments. While ECC offers better performance, RSA is more mature and easier to implement. AES is
Yeah, that
uh,
is easier to implement, but that is high secured is not an RSA. Then you have to use the advanced algorithms.
uh, uh, okay.
You can use, but if it is okay, otherwise your project is good. You are doing a very good job, right? I think you should go ahead, right? Thank you.
Oh, thank you, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. This was the last presentation for our session. I sincerely thank our authors for their excellent presentations and contribution in this session, and all our participants for being a part of this international conference. I hope this session was informative enough. We, on behalf of the whole team, thank you for your support during the 10th version and all the previous 9 versions of the conference. We will be happy to have you in the 11th version in 2026. All the presenters will be getting their digital certificates through email within 2 working days. Further, all the papers have been already forwarded to the Springer. The publication will be live within 6 to 7 months. Kindly cooperate with the team of ICTIS 2025. I also would like to thank our session chair. Just a second.
Thank you. Thank you.
Our session
Thank you,
chair,
Ishita.
Professor Dilgesh Kumar Mishra, for chairing the
Yeah.
session. A token of
Right.
appreciation to chair on behalf of Team ICTIS 2025 and Global Knowledge Research Foundation. Thank you for
Thank
your
you.
valuable presence, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Before ending the session, I'd like to request everyone to turn on their cameras for a quick snapshot of the virtual conference. Thank you, everyone. Stay safe and take care.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.